Ho, 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 boys and girls, and welcome back to another episode of Karp Talk Radio. You might have missed us last week, but this week we're back. We're bigger than ever. We got all sorts of news to go over with, and I'm joined as usual by the two best people in the whole entire world.
What did you just call me? Did you call me a hoe?
Yeah.
Did you call me? I don't know. Okay, guys, sorry we wasn't here with you last week.
And Ryan Ferry.
Yeah, right. I'm Jamie. We wasn't here last week because real life got in the way, and then once real life got done, Star Wars got in the way. Hence.
Wait a minute, I thought that was real life.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh yeah, more real life got in the way.
Like I had stuff, and then I had Star Wars.
Exactly. But
I had stuff, then Star Wars, then stuff.
Which was awesome, by the way.
It was amazing. No spoilers. Here's a spoiler for you. Pew, 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 pew. Vroom, vroom, vroom.
Stormtroopers still can't shoot, that is all.
No,
Yes.
that was...
Okay, so their shooting was better in this movie,
Yeah,
but they still
got
can't
an
shoot.
upgrade. That's the only
Spoiler
spoiler
in the
I can give
movie.
out, though.
Oh, and the movie theater gives you these awesome 3D glasses for like, you get all four of them for like $12.
Some movie
And they're
theaters.
collectors and some movie theaters. If you go to like Cinemark or a big nicer theater, they give you those. I've also got these.
See, I went to a huge theater, but I went to see it in standard, so I didn't get to wear 3D. I mean, for me and Chris, it's either see 3D blurry or don't see it all.
Yeah.
I have the
When it
same
comes to
option.
3D movies.
I had to watch it in 3D, but I'm going back to watch it in 2D tomorrow, so I'm going to be looking for Easter eggs and things like that in the movie.
So many shout-outs to the older movies, too.
It was. If you haven't seen it yet, you should be ashamed of yourself. Go watch it.
You really should. But anyway,
Anyways, back to Pokemon.
yes. So, Breakpoint released in Japan. That happened. Anything newsworthy, guys?
Well, we've already seen the whole set, so
Yeah, I mean,
nothing too much, out of the ordinary there. Which our problem is being in English, we won't see the impact of these cards until regionals, if that. I don't even know if they'll make it in time for winter regionals, will they?
No.
So states will be our first chance to see anything significant from them. So that's a rule I think sucks.
I mean, it makes sense, but it sucks.
There's other games they used to do that too, and they've all kind of gone away from that. I think Pokemon would benefit from it as well. It's kind of, not so excited to buy cards when you can't use them. I think if you could use them right then, that you'd sell quite a bit more packs.
See, but this game's main audience isn't the players. Controversial, unpopular opinion here. The main audience isn't the players. It's the people who buy them for the artwork or the collectors.
That's true. There's no real controversy there, but that's absolutely true.
Yeah, but if I said that on Burbank, I'd get banned.
Well, that's the same thing with Magic. Magic makes all their money from casual players. The guys who sit at the kitchen table and have decks with the cards that they like in them, not the cards that win. As a store owner, I knew that. You sell way more dollar bin rares than you will stuff out of the case, just because the guys who happen to win a lot of tournaments, they either use all their winnings to get stuff out of your case, or they buy it somewhere cheaper. So casual players, they're the ones that keep stores and businesses. True story.
Exactly.
Like Jamie.
Yes, I was a filthy casual in Magic. The best I ever done was an 8th place finish in a tournament of like 45. Okay, I'm a filthy casual.
No, Jamie, we were talking about Pokemon, remember?
Specifically, I was.
You consider me a filthy casual?
Yeah.
I beat both of you. Now
We're all scrubs here.
Yeah,
we're all
pretty
scrubs.
much.
Everybody in this whole state's a scrub.
Whoa, now. When people come from other states to play in our state, they're not.
I know.
They're not from here though.
They come here to get the easy scrub points off of us.
Tyler Keller's from Louisville. He did well at regionals.
All right. He done good. So, he's not a scrub. I'll let it go.
And then Josh Sutherland made top 64 at Nats with DJ's deck.
We
DJ
love you,
would have got
Josh.
top 64 as well if it wasn't for Jamie.
See, Kentucky
Okay.
doesn't have bad players. I mean, I finished ahead of Jamie at regionals.
By one spot.
Ooh, you get a high five for that, sir.
By one bloody spot.
Which that one spot was probably the matchup I shouldn't have won.
And
That was just God's divine intervention to make sure you finished ahead of Jamie. It's like nothing you could have done in that match would have lost the game.
and during playtesting, I kicked your butt the entire time, so I don't want to hear it.
Playtesting doesn't get you actual standings. I also beat you at the Unlimited tournament.
That don't count. That's unlimited.
Mr. Mime.
Tournament.
I came in third in a tournament I didn't have to play Chris in.
That's a good strategy. It paid off.
That's my main strategy for London cities.
Don't play Chris, then run
Don't.
into everything else.
Yes, I can
Speaking
handle
of
it.
Unlimited, though, a card that did get spoiled. It's not in what's this latest Japanese set.
Breakpoint.
Breakpoint. It's not in Breakpoint, but it's in the next set after that. It's the one that you can play like Poke Draw, where you play two of them at the same time, and you get to get two cards out of your discard pile.
Night
That's
March is
fun.
going to love it.
Night March is going to love it. It's going to be broken and expanded. It's going to be amazing and
And expanded
unlimited.
to get lasers and Verbanks.
Pretty sick.
Speaking of cards that have been announced that aren't in Breakpoint, there was a fan vote in Japan determined to vote for an upcoming break. There were 7 choices on the ballot, and I'm going to list them off here in the order from 7th to 1st. 7th was Hippowdon, 6th was Magnezone, 5th was Octillery, 4th was Whimsicott, 3rd was Aromatisse, which would have made me very happy. 2nd was Typhlosion, which would have made Jamie very happy.
Yes,
But
it
instead, at number 1, we get Crobat Break in an upcoming set.
Oh, tell them the best part, though. When it comes into play, it does 60 damage. You put 60 damage on something.
Nah, we don't know what it does yet.
No.
We don't know what it does yet. We can kind of assume based off of it being buffed versions of other abilities. Like even Florge's Break, which is considered a quote-unquote bad break, lowers the energy cost of all attacks by 1 fairy energy. It could still do something to change the format. Or it could do massive damage from a drop, like Greninja Break does from an energy discard.
You know, it would be really neat if it had when it's a break card that comes to play, and its ability is to return it and all cards attached to it back to your hand. So you've got a free way to return all these bats, then you play them all back down again.
Without burning a supporter or relying on a flip.
That would be sick.
That would be banned.
That wouldn't be banned.
That would be
Yeah, that
hilarious.
would.
It would be so awesome.
That'd be broken as sin. You know this, Chris.
Meanwhile, if Typhlosion won, we'd be getting Heat Licks 2.0.
We'd be getting a useless card.
Yes. Discard 5 cards. Each card you discard does 300 damage.
No, if you have 3 prizes left, you win the game. Speaking of cards in Breakpoint, Slowbro. That's something that we were going to report on last week, however, we did not film an episode. For 3 colorless energies, if you have 1 prize left, you automatically win the game.
And then people are speculating, this is a game-changing card. Everybody's going to win with this thing. Oh my gosh, nerdgasm. No. Okay.
It requires
Doesn't
3
have better one
colorless to
prize card.
even use. If it were a psychic type, you could use it with Dimension Valley and drop a DCE, but that's not the case with this card. It's a water type.
Yeah, let me explain this to you guys. Here is why this will not be a game-breaking card. 1, you have to have 3 energy to attack. 2, you have to have 1 prize remaining. By that point, you can just get the last knockout to win. Now, if it was 2 or 3 prizes, I think you would see quite a bit of play. But you have to have 1 left. I don't like it.
We already have a card when you only have 2 prizes left, you win the game. It's called Shaman.
It's called Lysander. Lysander up a Shaman and you win.
Yeah, we have that 2-card combination already, Lysander Shaman.
Yeah,
no, 3-card combination, Target Whistle.
Nah, Shaman's usually already on the
Target
bench.
Whistle before it.
I didn't get to do that once in Fort Wayne, and I was so pissed about it.
It catches people off guard. I like it.
They're like, what, you run Target Whistle?
What the hell? Target Whistle? Usually they have to read it, though.
Yeah, they're like, what does this do? Well, actually, I was told recently that when Professor Oak's New Theory was played by a Japanese player at Worlds, nobody had really been playing it at the time, so there had to be a translator there to tell them what the card did. They thought Professor Oak's New Theory was bad. If only they knew.
If only.
That's what
Shauna is bad. Birch, admittedly, even though I like it, is bad. Oak's New Theory, good. We need a reprint of that.
They could have made Professor Birch's observation that, but no.
Make it happen, Puka.
Heck, if Professor Birch said shuffle your hand to your deck, and then if it was heads, you get 8 cards instead of 7, I would say it was good, but it's 7. It's not worth the risk.
I mean, actually, I wanted to talk about this too while we were on here. I was doing some playtesting with some friends here in Lexington, and one of them brought with him a bunch of old Worlds decks. And the one that I played, I think, was 2011? No, 2010. And it was the Gyarados that attacks for no energy versus a deck that my friend Jacob had built based off of the Gengar with the Curse ability. But one card that really stood out to me in it was a one-of in the deck called Cynthia's Feelings. You shuffle your hand into your deck and draw 4 cards. But if your active was knocked out the last turn, you draw 4 more. So you could shuffle your hand into your deck and draw 8.
Yeah, that would be pretty amazing in the way the game's played right now, because you basically take a knockout every turn.
I like it. Now we have Teammates and Ace Trainer and Black.
Which Teammates is Twins?
Don't be hating on Teammates.
Teammates is a decent card.
It's great.
But it's just not as consistent. You have to have a Pokemon knocked out that turn.
I mean, whereas Twins was, you can only play it if you have more prize cards left than your opponent. Teammates is kind of a nerfed version of it.
Teammates is really consistent. I consistently get a Pokemon knocked out every turn in that March, so.
Yeah, and 2-for-1 exchange is pretty good with that.
Yeah, Night March is a whole different monster.
Being able to hit your DCs every turn is pretty nice.
Night March is, ever since Trump Card got banned, that left Night March a lot of room. I'm sorry, I don't think Trump Card should have been banned. Just because Night March. Unpopular opinion, I know.
But you just need a card that shuffles Pokemon back in.
Yeah, if it were just Pokemon or just items, I believe we talked about this on a previous episode.
Yeah, I don't ever want it to be items, though, because that means VS Seekers.
Yeah, VS Seekers would create a continuous loop.
VS Seeker is what broke Trump Card.
Like a Pokemon to get shuffled in it, I think is a legitimately fair card. I understand it would still take away a win condition, but it would not be in nearly as many decks anyway. People probably would. It would absolutely destroy Night March, though. The deck, nobody would even run it because they wouldn't get their items back. They lost all their Pokemon.
Yep.
They could never speed back through the deck again after that point.
I just want to break Night March to pieces.
I like it. It's
The
a good deck.
cheap, easy deck build.
So, Ways of breaking Night March
It's a
into
good card.
pieces.
The best cheat we've ever had.
A deck that's been surfacing in the meta recently in Standard is a deck piloted by Austin Vance and a handful of other players. It's being referred to as Flappy Dogs. It's a speed-oriented deck that revolves around being able to attack with the Ancient Origins Entei, with the ancient trait Theta Double. You can put 2 tool cards on it, which means you can put 2 Assault Vests, an Assault Vest and a Muscle Band. You can use Flame Screen for 2 energies, a Fire and a Colorless. Reduces your damage by 30 already. You put 2 Assault Vests on it, that's 80 more. So you can either play an offensive or defensive game with it, depending on your needs. I really like this concept, and I think it's been a lot of fun to play with.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we will see a handful of them at Cities.
I've enjoyed it. It's when I first seen the list, I had to ask you, I'm not sure what this is. And then, I played around with it as well, and it's a legit deck.
It's one of those lists that when you see it at first, you kind of go, what? It really takes playing it to truly understand what it can do.
Yeah.
So, guys, they've released the artwork for the Breakpoint packs, looks like. And you guys want to see?
Gold Greninja.
Hold on. Screen share. So here's what they look like. You guys can
What's
see
up?
that.
Oh, goody, they're a black screen.
There we go.
There we go. Oh,
Okay.
Pepsi spokesperson?
So, what? Yep, it's Pepsi spokesperson over here in this little corner.
can you lock it onto your screen, Jamie, while we're talking about it?
I locked it on. Well,
Yeah. Hold on.
it
Okay,
should
can
be
you guys
locked
see
on
that?
there.
Can you guys see that now?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we have from left to right, Shiny Mega Gyarados EX, Greninja Break, Mega Scizor, and Luxray Break. So I like it. I like these artworks. These are
Hype.
cool looking.
Hype, 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 hype.
I feel like that the trading card game has a lot more to be hyped over than the video game will ever. But
Yes,
yeah.
VGC, the only thing that could possibly make me hate things like Zapdos, Aegislash, and Excadrill.
But not Toad.
No, the card game makes me hate Toad.
Also, Ash Greninja EX box is coming out in April.
Ugh.
It's a terrible card.
I'm tired of
so
these sucky promos.
Yes. Ash. Here's what it does, guys. This is how bad it is. Ash Greninja EX, Water type, HP 170. It's a basic. For a Water and a colorless Shuriken Dance. It does 20 times damage. Flip 3 coins. This attack does 20 damage times the number of heads on one of your opponent's Pokemon. So, wait a minute. This doesn't have to be your opponent's active.
Trick Coin.
Trick Coin, and then 2 water and a colorless Ninja Blade 130. During your next turn, this Pokemon can't use Ninja Blade. That disappoints me.
Jacob Van Wagner takes this to Worlds Confirmed.
Yep. But I like the art of it. The art
Somebody
is
will win with this card, and we will all wonder how.
I just kind of like how this just looks like a Mega Greninja.
Let's see, Giovanni's Scheme, Muscle Band. We do have that new Splash Energy for if it gets knocked out.
Does it
what else?
actually contain the words Ashes Greninja? Is that the actual name of the card?
Ash Greninja is the name of the form in Japanese as of right now. We don't have the English name of the form yet.
Okay.
Yeah, this is what it looks like.
Yeah, I've seen
Look
the picture
up.
for it.
Satoshi
I'm not
Greninja.
sh-
I probably
not sh-
slaughtered the pronunciation.
Satoshi. I just call him Satoshi. Not Satoshi. Satoshi. I don't know. But I just like how it looks like a Mega Greninja. I like the looks of it. I'll probably get it just for collection, but that's just me personally.
Yeah, collection purposes, I can justify it, but
No, I'll get it if somebody opens the box. I'm just not going to waste money on it.
then again, Water is getting a lot of support. Maybe it'll get even more.
Water has kept a lot of support. But yeah, that's Ash Greninja. We need a Mega Greninja.
Oh, speaking of other pointless news that came out, apparently there's a secret Pokemon that's going to be in the next Pokemon game. Apparently there's
Volcanion.
Volcanion that nobody's ever
Yeah,
seen or heard of.
guys, we've known about this for 2 years. Don't even beat around the bush. Come on.
Yeah, we've known about Volcanion thanks to hackers of X and Y. It's a
Yeah.
fire water type. It's a pretty cool guy. It looks like it's got onion rings on its back, but he's a cool guy.
What turns from an onion ring into a cannon? If you've seen the video.
I just want a Volcanion because it's a fire water type. That's like the coolest type combination ever.
See, I thought it was mind-blowing when Emboar got Scald.
Yes, because they try every way in the world to make Emboar good. Sorry, guys, you didn't.
Hey, Emboar's been good in the GBA this year.
Emboar does better in the TCG with Inferno Fandango.
Used to.
Yeah,
It
not
did
anymore.
well. It did well. I mean, it managed to pull off a world championship. So.
Oh, did it?
With Rayquaza.
In Masters?
Seniors.
Oh.
Yeah, because
But
I think Master, it was 2011 Masters that Ross Cotton took the Truth to the finals. I've been getting into a lot of old format stuff, kind of learning that. It's pretty cool.
I like it when people pull out the older decks and then use the rules.
Yeah,
that were around then.
like for example, in the 2011 or 2010 era, you could attack on your first turn, but you can't play. If you're going first, you can't play trainers, supporters, or stadiums, but you can attack, and there were a lot of attacks that cost no energy. Like Sableye Impersonate that lets you search your deck for a supporter, put it in your discard pile, and that supporter's effect is the attack's effect for that turn.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, and you get to go first.
Yep, with Sableye's ability.
Yeah, that was a...
We know you have some
amazing
experience with
card.
Sableye.
It's an amazing card looking back at it now because I didn't play then, but I've heard horror stories about that card, so if people played then, they really have a bad taste in their mouth from that card.
Anyway, guys, this is our Christmas episode. Let's get into the Christmas mood.
Merry Karpmas.
Merry Karpmas, guys. That's
Merry
what we're doing
Karpmas.
here.
Splash
this is
the
like the
halls
most...
with boughs of holly.
Karp. Yes, I just did that. I'm a dork. So,
We knew that.
What do you guys want for Christmas?
Go ahead, Ryan.
Money.
Money, money, money.
Money so I can play the Pokemans.
That's right. Feed my addiction.
I want a new vape. Yeah, I'm pretty easy to satisfy.
That's what she said.
What do you want, Chris?
I'll take a belated city championship win.
Oh, crap. That reminds me. I was supposed to help Melinda pick out your Christmas present.
Oh. Well, awesome. Maybe you can help me pick out hers because I haven't got her nothing yet either.
Spoiler alert.
Boom, boom, boom. Nothing's going to be able to top last Christmas.
Oh, yeah, when you got that, like, wrestling Pikachu?
Yeah, I did not see that one coming. I hadn't even mentioned that thing in
The Luchador
at least a day or
Pikachu.
two. At least been a day or two. I mean, no, I probably hadn't mentioned it since we went back to work after Worlds was over. Probably mentioned it about a month after that. That's about it. That one was. It's really hard to surprise me with like presents and stuff, but that one, I did not know what that was when I was opening it.
Yeah, I was like, Melinda, you're not going to be able to top that. I'm sorry. I know you love the man, but I don't think you can top that.
I mean, it would have to be maybe some of those cosplay Pikachus or something, but I don't know. That one's near and dear to my heart. So
Speaking of near and dear to my heart, I think now might be the time to bring this out. I don't know if I talked about. Have we had a Karp Talk since I got this box?
nope.
So I'm in a Facebook group that is devoted to Funko Pops. I collect them, as you can see behind me here, that direction. But my Secret Santa this year was the owner of the comic shop that's just down the street from my house, and his wife is huge into crocheting, and she gave me this Pikachu
It's
that
pretty
she
awesome.
hand crocheted, and I plan
That
on
is
taking it.
adorable.
I plan on taking it wherever I go for tournaments and stuff as a good luck charm.
You better be
I'm going to
careful
see
with
if I
that
can
with
find
that
a little
crochet.
Magikarp hat for it or something.
Maybe she can knit you one.
Get her, yeah, I was gonna say get her to crochet you one.
It is the cutest darn thing, and you all know that I'm not the biggest fan of Pikachu in the world. I'm more of not a fan of its publicity. I've always liked Pikachu. I will do that rant video eventually. I promise, guys.
Okay, speaking of rant video, I know a lot of you didn't watch my Christmas rant that I had because I made it like 5 months ago.
And you
So-
made it while you were driving your car, so the sound quality was awful.
Yeah, so
And you dropped your phone.
story time. This was a very bitter Christmas time for me. I was
Snape kills
9 years-
Dumbledore.
Yeah, Snape kills Dumbledore. I said Dumbledore. Can't talk. So, when I was 9 years old, it was 2003. That's the year Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire came out. And my mom and dad went and asked me, what do I want for Christmas? What do I want for Christmas? I want the new Pokemon games. Of course, that's what I'd want. So, Christmas comes, and my sister goes and opens for Christmas a brand new Game Boy Advance SP and Pokemon Ruby. I already had a Game Boy, so I didn't really care about the whole the Game Boy Advance SP thing. But she opens up Pokemon Ruby, and I'm like, okay, maybe I got Sapphire. And then I start looking through my presents, start opening them real fast. I didn't get it. And my sister sat there and rubbed that in my face. And I'm like, guys, where's my Pokemon game? Like, we didn't get it for you. What? And Felicia, that's my sister's name. Yes, you can go ahead and make Bye Felicia jokes. She doesn't like Pokemon that much at all. Like, her favorite Pokemon are Piplup and Buneri. That's how much she knows about Pokemon.
Because they're cute, and a character with a sock on her head used it.
Yeah. She
Speaking of,
doesn't know. She doesn't know that much.
Chugga Conroy's released his first Pokemon Let's Play in 2 years. Pokemon Platinum started a couple days ago.
Cool.
Go
But
watch it. He's the greatest.
But she didn't even know that was like Dawn's Pokemon in the anime. That's how little she knows about it. So, all the time I was going and stealing the Pokemon game from her. I got to have like 4 badges at one point. She took my game and deleted it. I was so pissed off. And they didn't make it up to me until Pokemon Emerald came out, and they got that for me for my birthday. And then about 2 years ago, maybe a year ago, it wasn't all that long ago, I went into my mom. I said, Mom, why did you do me that way? What do you mean? Well, I asked you for that game that year for Christmas, and you gave it to Felicia. And you wouldn't let me play it. She wouldn't let me play it. Dad wouldn't let me play it. Why? She said, Jamie, I am really, really sorry. You want me to be honest with you? We actually wrapped that up for you, and we bought it for you, but we accidentally put her name on it. I'm sorry. Because whenever I went and looked at, for some reason, I go and see how much they spent on each of us, and they spent about an extra $35 on her with that game. And they usually get everything within like $1 of spending on us whenever we were growing up. But I ended up buying it off of her. She's like, I'm going to go sell this. I'm like, okay, you go sell this. Actually, no, you're not going to go sell this. If you take this to GameStop and sell it, whatever they offer you, I'm going to double it. They offered her $3 for it. So I gave her $6 for it, and I said I'm keeping it. She's like, she thought they would give her more than that. Nope.
You will sell me this game. You will not
These
sell
are-
it to GameStop.
These are not the droids you're looking for.
$6 in your pocket is.
No, it's like if I had it my way, I would have just took it from her, pushed her down with it.
That's not the way of the light side.
No, like she got to points to where she didn't even know I had it. That's how little she cared. Like I went 8 months at a time with it until she found out that I had it. And I sat there and played it in front of her all the time.
Is that when she would take your game and delete it so you had to restart every time?
No, she only did that once.
Oh,
The rest
okay.
of the time she left it alone. But I had to play as the girl character just because she wouldn't know the difference if she decided to play it.
But yet, because it was named Jamie, it was a dead giveaway.
Yep, so I had to play as May instead of Brandon. But, oh well. That left a lot of frustration growing up. And my mom didn't tell me about it until I was probably about 19, 20, maybe 18. That it was actually supposed to be mine. So yeah, that was about 10 years. Anyway, that's our conversation topic. What's your all's like Pokemon Christmas memories? I'm sure you've got some.
Well, I was lucky enough that my parents, whenever they bought me that kind of thing, they usually got it for me around the time of the release date of the game, or I bought it with my own money eventually as I got older and older.
Yeah,
I'm trying to
like
think.
that's how I did Gen 4 games, but when Gen 3 came out, I was like 9 years old.
Let's see, Red and Blue, when they came out, my mom bought me a red Game Boy for Christmas that year. She bought me a red Game Boy Pocket, and I think I may have already had the Game Boy by the time I got the Pokemon Red. For some strange reason, I wanted a Game Boy as a kid. But
Everyone did.
But this was before Pokemon, though, is the thing. Before Pokemon, I wanted a Game Boy for some reason. And my mom went out and bought me the game one day to help me make friends. And then I think I was maybe 11 or 12, and my parents, that red Game Boy Pocket had been broken a long time ago. And they went out one year for Christmas, and my big gift was they found me a Game Boy Pocket, an original Game Boy, copy of Pokemon, a working copy of Pokemon Red. My battery had died by that point, and like a case to put it all in. That was one of my big Christmas presents one year. And then the GameCube was my big Christmas present when I was 10 from my grandma. And I got Melee with that. But
Nice.
Let's see. Yeah, usually nowadays, whenever the Pokemon games come out, I just buy them with my own money.
That's how I am, but we're adults now. I've been doing that since I was 13. And when Pokemon Diamond came out, I went and bought it with my allowance.
Yeah, I did that. I actually got a gift card to Target for Christmas, and I waited 5 months to cash it out to get Platinum. And then, let's see.
That's Jamie approved right there.
When X and Y came out, I sold a bunch of my older games to pay for the pre-release. And then, let's see. Heart Gold and Soul Silver are the games I spent the most hours on, though, by far. Those games are masterpieces.
Yes, they are.
And I've still got my pre-release figures somewhere around here. Love those things.
I never got Pokemon games for Christmas.
Darn.
Yeah, because they didn't come out until you were 16.
Yeah, I was going to say I was 16 when the first one came out, and I bought it. With my
God,
own
Chris,
money.
you're old.
I know, I feel it every day, guys.
Yeah, like Pokemon Gold was my first present, my first Pokemon game. I didn't get like the Gen 1 games until a little bit after that, and I didn't really play through them because I had Gold to play through, and it looked better, and it felt better, and it had more in it.
I remember I was at Pokemon League at the local shop we had it at, and in the same strip center this was back when GameStop was called Funko Land. And that Funko Land location is still there as a GameStop now, and it's the one where I work my seasonal job. But they actually released their copies of Gold and Silver 2 days before Toys R Us did, and Toys R Us was who I had my pre-order through for Silver. So I remember seeing the kids playing it in League, and think one guy had already gotten to the point where he had caught Ho-Oh in Gold. And I was like, man, that thing is so freaking cool. Well,
Yeah,
at
Funko
8 years.
Land, that's where about the old NES games at.
Gosh. Let's see, what other... Oh, yeah, I remember the day Crystal came out. My mom got it for me from Kmart, and then I rode around in one of the carts that's like, normally for wheelchairs that they push around. I was riding around at Kroger playing Crystal sitting in this cart.
Wow.
Yeah. I was that kid.
Now the only game related thing I remember getting for Christmas was I got my Sega Genesis, and Mom and Dad didn't put it under the tree, and we had just the regular NES at the time, and the X-Men game had just come out. I was a huge X-Men fan, and I got the X-Men game, but there was no Genesis to play it on, and they kept playing off like they didn't buy one, and then a couple hours later, like, oh yeah, we forgot this in the closet. Played that. Yeah. Sonic the Hedgehog 2, still one of my favorite games.
I found out recently. I finally pinpointed down when I got my Super Nintendo, because the bundle was brand new when the N64 was new, so that would put it at 96. I was 4 at the time then when I first got my Super Nintendo and Kirby Superstar. That was a Christmas gift too. Yeah. And then after Red and Blue came out, my parents found me a Super Game Boy so I could play it on the TV.
I ended up playing everybody else's Super Nintendo because I really wanted that Sega Genesis. I think I was like the only one around here that had one.
Yeah, I had a Super Nintendo. Actually, it was my dad's Super Nintendo, and he just kind of gave it to me whenever I turned 4, and I played the crap out of Super Mario World.
Super Mario World. Yep, that's...
Quality game.
I played the snot out of the Game Boy Advance remake. I think I still have it in one of my SPs somewhere from where I play it every once in a while.
Yeah, I got it on my Wii U right now.
That's what makes Mario Maker such a great game, in my opinion, is that they put Super Mario World in there as one of the options. I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer, but at the same time, I just wish they'd have done everything in Mario Maker true to Mario World. Like Yoshi could actually, bounce off of spin jumping could bounce off of spike balls in Super Mario World, and in the Mario Maker port of it, it doesn't.
I ain't played.
But that's the only thing they didn't do. Mario Maker's such a great game, guys.
I need a Wii U and play it.
I'm actually probably going to get Xenoblade Chronicles X soon, too. The price on that's going down. Yep. I went to, when I was in Louisville yesterday, I swung by a GameStop just to take a look and see what they have. I go through their Wii games, and they have a copy of Fire Emblem Radiant Dawn there. I'm like, oh yes, I can finally get this game. I've wanted it for so long. I look at the price. They wanted $64 for it.
Yeah, absolutely worth it.
Oh, I'm sure it's worth it. That's just like when Xenoblade Chronicles was like 90.
Yeah, but I think this game's pushing close to 100 now.
Really?
Yeah.
I probably should have bought it then.
I would have bought that one.
You're looking it up, aren't you?
Hell yeah, I am.
Yeah, Fire Emblem Radiant Dawn. I know that's not Ike's first game. Ike's first game was on the GameCube. That's the one I want to play first.
That was a really great game, too.
Since Ike's my favorite Smash Bros. Character.
Because he fights for his friends?
Yes, because he fights for his friends. Hold on.
You're getting up and leaving in the middle of Karp Talk. Brian, get back over here. What do you have? I'm scared to know this. Brian.
Okay, looks like they're going off for about $70, right? So that was a good price.
Okay, what was that, Chris?
They're actually going off on eBay for $70. So
shoot, I probably should have gotten it then. I could have gotten my discount on it too. But
I would have bought it for sure.
Ike is who's in the case right now.
And
I think these cases are overpriced, but they look so good. The amiibo looks so good in them.
How much are they?
They're like $8 before discount. If I could get them in bulk for like 3 or 4 a piece, I could justify buying them and get them for all of my amiibos. But I can't justify paying $8 for them, for the cases. Yeah, I got this, Greninja, and Lucario on Black Friday.
How much are the baseball cases?
Ultra Pro Ball Cubes, if you get them in bulk, they're around $1.20 each.
Are they too
And
big
they're
or
a little bit too small for the
Okay.
taller amiibos.
Do they make like a size for like those mini basketballs or something? Would that be
I
way
think they
too
do.
big?
I'd have to do more research into it. I haven't done much with Ultra Pro lately, but Ultra Pro is usually who my dad gets them from.
We're
Or he
off
gets them for
topic
his
again.
baseballs. Oh yeah, take another drink.
I don't have anything to
I
drink this
think-
time.
If they were playing the drinking game, they've been out a while now.
They've been chugging their beer for about 10 minutes straight. I love how I go to stare at my watch and my watch is covered by my hoodie sleeve. Anyways,
I do that, and there's not even a watch there. I'm all the time like people ask what time it is, and I look.
I don't wear a watch.
I don't either, which is the thing.
you just
Okay,
do it
guys.
out of habit.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to talk about?
I guess we can let people know that next Monday, we're going to be shooting our year-end review episode of Karp Talk, where we'll go over our top 10 episodes of Karp
Yeah.
Talk.
Did you just hold up 2 fingers while doing that?
That's right. Two.
Guys, we got a lot of content coming for you next week. Monday, we're doing part 1 of our top 10.
And then the
Tuesday
city's
is-
marathon.
I
Yeah,
think we're
then
going to do the
city's
whole
marathon.
thing maybe that day, or we can do our top 10, and then I think what would be really neat is if at cities we got people to talk about the other 10 cards that we picked.
Yeah.
I could throw together a show with that because right now I'm working on Premiere, so I need some stuff to like fix together and things like that.
So, Monday, expect the first top 10. Tuesday, Louisville City. Sorry, guys, I'm not going to be there.
I will.
This
I
guy,
have to work. It's too far for me. I know I don't have any way of getting up there, and I don't have anywhere to stay. Wednesday, I'll be at Lexington for that cities. And Thursday,
I live there, so I have
Thursday-
no excuse.
And Thursday is the one in London, so I have to be there because I'm the one who helped put together the whole thing. So expect that.
Also, if any of us do any sort of reasonably well in cities, like if any of us make top cut, expect a deck tech.
Oh yes.
well, my record will be perfect in London, so because I'm going to be
0-0.
Yeah.
You're gonna be 0-0 there.
be perfect.
You better give me all the good calls, you and Kyle.
Oh, you'll be the first guy we kick out.
Yep. Even before me. Even before me, even if I play flip it or rip it with the judging sheet.
Because we did that.
No, I did that, not you.
No, I did it too. I just ripped it up. I didn't.
But I
flip
posted it
I
on
just ripped
Burbank and got all the likes, so I get the credit.
Yes, you did.
Welcome to
I'll give
management,
you that.
Jamie.
I'll give that to you, young Padawan.
You'll be going places in this new job, right?
What was that, Chris?
I said you're going to be going places in your new job with an attitude like that. I like it.
Yeah, we'll see.
You'll be running that company.
I'm not super enthusiastic about being there at 7:30 in the morning, but
Hey,
got to
pays
make the
bills.
dinero to pay the bills.
It gets easier. At least your afternoons are over, right?
If I'm working at 7:30, I'll probably get out like 4:30. So
I bet they got a bunch of branches that stay open late, don't they?
the latest they stay open, I believe, is 6.
Well, that's not bad.
It's a bank. It's a bank, Chris.
Well, that's what I said.
Well, everybody jokes about bankers' hours.
Banks don't stay open late. I've never seen a bank stay open later than 6.
And then if I work a Saturday, I get a half day during the week. So that's
Sounds-
nice.
But you are off. Well, we
I am
don't
off.
have you on the weekend this week, do we?
I am off this coming Saturday, so
But you are off for all the city events, right?
yes, I'm off for all 3 Kentucky cities.
Good. Boom.
When is the one in Knoxville?
This
Oh
weekend.
God, I think it's Sunday.
This
And then
Sunday,
Saturday's Murfreesboro, I believe. I'm considering it.
I may go to the one in Knoxville if one of you guys will come with me.
I would, but I got too much family stuff to do this week to make up for not doing any next week.
If I were to go, I would probably already be going down there. Like, I would probably already be there.
Okay, I'll see if someone will go with me.
Get DJ to go with you.
I know. I'll probably message him here in a little bit.
He ain't even been on Facebook here lately. What's happening?
No, I don't know.
Hey, what's going on with him?
I don't know. I ain't talked to him.
Well,
I need
we
to
need
talk
to have
to
an
him.
intervention with him and get him playing some more.
Yup. But I'm gonna go. Ryan's got to be up at 7:30, and I gotta be at work at 7. So let's go ahead and get off.
Okay.
You said get off.
Yeah.
Bite me.
If that's what turns you on.
It's super effective.
All right, guys. We'll see you next week with your interview video. This is Chris Morgan. Keep on splashing.
Keep splashing, guys.
You guys are jerks, but I love you guys.
Peace.